Right. Please forgive me because I actually don't know how to use StreamYard and I'm using it on my phone. So I can't put the StreamYard link in the chat because I actually don't know how to do it off my phone. So, and I don't know how to share it out either. Great. But it's been brought to my attention by a few good friends of mine lately that Ulysses Perry has been stirring the pot, right? And I'm not about to sit here quiet and be like, oh yeah, because I don't defend people who defend paedophiles or nonces. I just don't do it. And like, I feel as though I should tell you my story and about my relationship with Chase because it was toxic. It was bad. And if you ask anybody that I've spoken to about it, they will say it's bad. Like, it was horrible. Really horrible. So we'd got together. He asked me out on my birthday last year after he'd split up with his girlfriend that he had about 3 months after he asked me out. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Right? It was alright for the first week. And then he started lying to me. And then whenever I went to him with something like a problem, he'd yell at me. To the point I had to have my best friend at the time scream at him to stop yelling at me. And I have witnesses to that conversation as well. It wasn't just my best friend who was there. I have witnesses to the conversation that day I had with him, and it wasn't just one fight. There was multiple fights, multiple screaming matches, and I don't think that's a healthy relationship if you're going to scream at your partner. Like, at the end of the day, like, I've never been in a relationship like that with anybody, and I've had bad relationships in the past to the point like I've been physically pushed and suffered broken ribs because I got pushed. But you screaming at me, verbally screaming at me, and telling me to shut the fuck up, and telling me this, that, and the other, on a day that you knew I was fucking at my lowest, you still screamed at me. You still screamed at me. You screamed at me on my nana's anniversary. And I have witnesses. I'm not saying this, I'm not saying it for the bullshit, I'm not saying it for the shits and giggles. I have actual witnesses that will fucking back me up. I'm done sitting quiet. I am done, like, being the good little girl and not saying anything. When actually people need to know what you are. And I've sat in silence for so long, and I've only started making this video, and it'll be this one and this one only. Hi, ITB. I just feel like if you're gonna decide with people who defend paedophiles, I can't have you in my life. I don't speak to you as it is. I don't want to speak to you ever now. Yeah, you apologised, but it was a half-hearted apology after the months I endured of you screaming at me, shouting at me, then saying the last thing was because I apologised to Chayton, which I was in the wrong for saying what I said. So I apologised to Chayton because at the end of the day, I'm a good person. I will apologise for shit I have done wrong. It may take me time to apologise, but I apologised. And me and Chayton are cool, or I think we're cool. I don't know. We're on a level, me and Chayton. I'm not gonna lie. We are friends. I'd say we're friends, and I never got the opportunity to actually like speak to that side of like YouTube, that side of like. I still have like I've lost my train of thought. Thanks, ITB. Like I never got to know Chayton because you was always running your mouth about him. I never got to like know him on a personal level. Like I never got to like actually talk to the man because you literally was like, oh, Chayton's bad news, Chayton's this, Chayton's that. When in fact he's actually a decent person. He's legit a decent person. Yeah. And I have like people like Kevin and Will and ITB and other people that like support me. You never did. You used to scream and shout at me all the fucking time. Do you know how draining that is? Especially for me, when you know my struggles, and yet you scream and shout at me. So like let me get into what I found out and what he's lied about. So Chase has lied about having children. I found out that from somebody I class as a really good friend. I'm not saying names in this video, but like I generally found out he lied about having kids. He lied to me about where he worked. He said he worked at Amazon and made me believe he worked at Amazon when in fact he works at fucking Walmart. He also manipulates situations for his advantage. And he always has done. Like, if I went to him with something, like, as his girlfriend, he'd manipulate the situation to bring it back to him. It was never about me. Never have a conversation over what I was going through. It was always him and his problems and stuff like that. He's lied about a lot, to be fair, but the two that stand out is the kids. You don't lie about having kids. That's just, you don't lie about having kids. That's just a no. Do you know what I mean? And the second one, I personally don't care where you worked. You could work at a shoe shop and I won't give a shit. But you were lying to me about where you worked. That doesn't sit well with me. So you're a pathological liar. You're a psychopath. You're siding with paedophiles. That I've literally found out today. And saying like, oh, you're never going to speak to so and so again because of this, that, and the other, and blaming other people for what you've done or what you said they've done or you've done. You flipped it. You said you blocked Will. In actual fact, Will blocked you. And like at the end of the day, I have said openly, and I will say openly on this, and I don't know if Will's told anybody. But I said at the time when me and Chase split up, I said if Will did long distance relationships, I would have been with Will and not Chase. I've openly said that to Will. Because Will's the type of person that I generally get along with and generally have a laugh with. And I love Will to death. Like, I love him to death. And like, Kevin's brought stuff to my attention. Like, I stopped talking to Kevin because of Chase. I stopped talking to a lot of people because of Chase. Like, he isolated me from people that I used to like speak to on a daily basis. He even manipulated me to the fact that I had a friends group where it was like me, Jordan, Louise, and Haviz, which are like, Haviz is one of my besties. And I felt as though I couldn't turn to my friends because he was in the group chat with us all in. And if that's not manipulation, what is it? Do you know what I'm saying? If that's not manipulation, what is it? Because in hindsight, it is manipulation. In hindsight, it is being controlling. In hindsight, he's got to have the last word in everything. I had to apologise for everything when I've done nothing wrong. That's a controlling and manipulative relationship. I've sat and cried to my friends about like him, and the recent thing, he put me in hospital with all the stress and stuff. I ended up in hospital 2 days before New Year's Eve last year because of Chase. He's affected my health, he's affected my mental health, he's affected my friendships and connections. And he sits there and says, "Oh yeah, I haven't done that." And then he was on a stream like 4 days after, or 4 days before Christmas, saying after he messaged me, "Oh, I won't speak about you on streams. You're there on somebody's stream speaking about me 4 days before Christmas. Like, don't fucking lie, you weasel." I find out shit. I got sent the stream and I flipped out. I was like, why is he fucking talking about me when I had text messages to prove that he said, "Oh, I won't talk about you on stream as long as you don't talk about me on streams." Well, sorry, hun, but I've had enough. I've had enough of sitting in silence when you've fucking said what you've said and you don't take accountability for shit. That's the difference between me and you. I can take accountability for my shit that I've done wrong. Yeah? I apologise for the shit I've done wrong. You can't. You sugarcoat everything. You side with paedophiles, or paedophile defenders, should I say, and you chat absolute bollocks, mate. And I don't care if I get hate for this, because I have a lot of people in my corner supporting me. But I just thought I'd come on here and say my piece and say what he's lied about and say like exactly how he's made me feel, because I'm not sitting quiet no more. When you're allowed to run your mouth about certain people that I care about, nah, mate, don't sit well with me. Don't sit well with me. And for that, this is like, I am never ever speaking to you again. Ever. Because you know what I do as a job, and you're defending paedophiles. Yeah. So I've said my piece, I've said my bit, and if anybody don't like it, if you have my number, ring me. If you don't have a fucking problem with me. Do you know what I'm saying? And if we're not friends, and you want to say shit to me, you can't, can you? Because we're not really friends and we don't speak. I'm just past the point of caring with all the bullshit. I'm done and I've said my piece. And I honestly don't give a shit about Chase anymore. I don't like the man. To be fair, the 2.5 months I was with him was absolutely mentally fucking draining. I don't know how anybody can be in a relationship with him at all. He's mentally and physically draining. Like, to be fair, like, I know I'm backtracking, but who in their right mind would have a go at somebody when they knew it was their anniversary of their nana's death. He's fucking rung me up on Messenger and fucking shouted at me because I went to him with a problem. And he was like, you don't know shit. You don't do this. You don't do that. To the point, my best friend at the time had to scream at him and was like, you do realise what day it is, Chase? And he was like, no. And she went, it's Jade's nana's anniversary of her death. I think you should treat Jade with a bit more respect instead of fucking screaming at her. And I had another witness as well to that conversation. And he knows who he is. But I'm just like, with what I found out just recently, I'm not sitting quiet no more. I'm saying my bit, posting it, and I just want to clarify with what I've said. Every bit of what I said is true. Like, me and Chayton are cool. Kevin, Will, I love you both so much, and thanks for having my back. ITB, I know you've got my back, bro. Like 110%. I love you for that as well. And this is me signing off. Peace.